How's it going? Welcome back to the Himmelberger Bus channel, where we are continuing to work on our Prevost H3-41 bus conversion. This is the second one I've done, so learning some things, and I'm deep into the process of pulling the floor. I want to talk about that and probably update you on some of the other decisions we're coming to on this bus conversion. One of which is where we're going to put the passenger seat, maybe review some of our power systems and the air conditioning system that we're going to be installing. So stick around if you want to see what we're doing for that. Let's go inside here. And as you can see, I am knee deep in it here. More than knee deep, waist deep maybe. Been pulling the floor here, and boy, am I glad I did. I really almost didn't pull the floor because it felt so solid. But then I started seeing some evidence of rework here, and see that metal's really rusting away there, but that isn't the worst of it. That's where the stock air conditioning system pushed its air up. And as you can see, something happened to the floor back here. One of the objectives of this video is I want to show you how I'm pulling it up. I kind of developed a little bit of a system. It's slow, it's not easy, but it is working. As you can see, this is what I'm using for light, and it's not doing all that well. Got a step in certain spots here. But yeah, you can see over here back where the bathroom used to be, that is pretty much gone there. So we're gonna have to put in a new piece of sheet metal here. My plan is I'm gonna try and find HVAC sheets, which I think I might be able to do that. They can get 32 by 48 sheets pretty readily. I don't know that I can find whatever this is, but none of these seem to be all that bad, other than I guess the one up there, but I suppose I could always just double layer them just to try and make it better. And then of course over in this side we got daylight. It is so bad through here. I apologize, don't have great light here. So that's what we got going on here. Maybe I'll show you how I'm pulling up. So without further ado, I will jump to showing you how I pull up the floor by just demonstrating a little section here. First thing I would recommend you do is pull off the chair rail, and that's on the floor here. And what we need to do, there's one, maybe there's another one here. We got to find where the fasteners are. And all right, so like I said, you got to try and find where the fasteners are. I think there's one there. I don't think there's going to be much left of it. And you just got to kind of look along here, and you're looking for a fastener. It's going to look like, let's see if we can find one. This is what they look like. I'm using a T27 bit to pull these out. I don't know for sure if they're T30. They're definitely not T25, but a T27 has been working okay. But they are in rough shape. This is a better looking one. Get rid of that. If you look here, you can see I did not take all of them out. That's where this guy comes in. Got ourselves a drill, a little bit of cutting fluid, and hope for the best here. So I'm gonna first see if I can actually get that out. And you also are gonna want to use some kind of like pick to pick out what's inside there, but there is not much left of that. I don't know. I'll put my impact down there to see what happens, but I don't think it's going anywhere. All right, and we're back. This one I just had to drill out. This one I was able to pull out, and like I said, go slow. Try and pick out as much of the debris with a little pick like this as you can, and just work on with your impact there, nice and slow. Try and bust it loose, and it's much easier to do it that way than it is to drill them out. So I'm gonna get this rail out, and it's probably gonna take me anywhere from 10 minutes to 2 hours. All depends. Whew, all right. Got that taken care of all the way to here. It ended up being more efficient just to drill them out. I was able to only pull maybe one out. I don't even remember. They were all too rusted. Some of them didn't even have heads. Like they just pulled right out. And what I do is put a crowbar like this on there and use that to kind of twist it. But that leads us to our chair here. So for a couple minutes, let's chat about what we're going to do for our passenger chair. And I have seen a couple of things get done with these. I've seen where there's this compartment down here. Let's see if we can open that. You know, you're just going to have to believe me. It's in there where the chair has been sunk down in there, but and there's a part of me that wants to kind of keep that open a little bit, maybe, for who knows what. And what I like about the chair being up here is then, like this, we can twist it, and now it's part of the living room, which is going to be here. So I really like that. If it were here, you wouldn't be able to twist it. Now, the big question is, okay, what do you do about, you know, you get your feet in no man's land here? Well, this does come out. This is electric, and I did test it and powered it all. Also, by the way, this is I got a passenger and driver's seat. I don't have the driver's seat in yet. Combo out of a Monaco coach, and it is completely destroyed here. But there's a company called, I think it's like RV Seats for Less or RV Seat Covers or something like that. And they custom make new covers for every piece, like the arms, the back, this thing, individual pieces. So it really looks like it's been completely reupholstered, but I think I'm going to be about $600, maybe $700 into the recovering of both chairs. And I think I bought these for $200 total. And these are really nice chairs. So I feel like I'm doing well at that. And then I can choose the color. So that's what I think we're going to do there. And I'm kind of at the point now where I got to take this off. So to do that, maybe we'll talk about how I attach this chair here real quick too. What I did was I used some unistrut, and then I screwed down the unistrut into the wood here. And my thought is, when we rebuild the floor, I can embed some unistrut into the flooring and connect that to the framing members, so that way we could put any kind of base here we want, and it's securely attached to the framing. All right, so yeah, that's the chair. I'm going to get this pulled off so then I can get the rest of this chair rail out, and then I'll show you how I pull the actual wood up. Now, something I got to do on this bus that maybe you might not have to do on yours, depending on what it is. Yeah, I got to take off this linoleum type stuff, and it is extremely durable, and this is extremely well put in there. So what I found worked well is use my circular saw, and I just run a couple of grooves through here, and I felt like I could pull off these smaller pieces a lot better than one giant piece. I like this. Let's see how this works. Can I actually get this up? Come on. There it goes. Sorry, I need 2 hands to get her going here. But I feel like strips about that wide I can do without too much trouble. Anything wider than that, it's just a pain, but it could be related to the glue and stuff that they used on this one, and yours might be different. All right, we got the chair where it needs to be, I guess, and we've gotten this strip cleaned and prepped, ready to go. So we've got a couple of things to keep in mind here. There are some of these Phillips head screws scattered throughout here. Some of them can be removed, others cannot, so I removed as many as I could. And of course, there will be some of those T27 bits and bobs around here somewhere. I think I grabbed a couple of them. But this is the method I found that works the best to separate these. I think they are kind of attached with some tar paper in between. I'll show you that here in a second. But yeah, you kind of gotta, oh, there we go. No, it's coming. So I'm just using I find using multiple pry bars helps. If you just use one, sometimes the wood will break. But you just kind of got to work it up and you'll feel it. It'll start to release. So watch, I'll put another one maybe over here. And you just keep, see, there it goes. Some screws and staples. It's held together in so many different ways. Let's try this guy here. Don't rush it. Don't rush it. Go slow. And then it just kind of relaxes. There it goes. See, if I would have pushed hard on that right away, this would just have cracked in half. So I'm just going to keep working that way. And this was already cut here. But then what I usually do is I cut these up into manageable slices and pull them out that way. So I'm going to keep at it. I got a long way to go. All right. Got the piece off that was here. And I also pulled this one off because I was like, hey, wait a minute. There's another little piece right here. So I pulled that off. And looky here. And we got some wires here. This is from, I think, the microphone and something else. I don't know what. That used to be here. We don't need those anymore. So get rid of all that. I just got to do the rest. So that'll be done in about, I don't know, a couple of minutes in YouTube time probably. All right, I got this going here. Got this cleaned up a little bit more, been vacuuming, but they had this metal plate over this, and for good reason. Look at this. This is just, there's nothing left of this. So glad I pulled up the floor. Such a good decision. I'd recommend anyone doing it. If you are working on a bus that's older than 20 years, you should probably do this. All right, things look a little bit different in here since we left off. It's nice enough out here in Minnesota where I got the front door open, so we're getting some natural light in here. My LED strip light's doing its best that it can. Here you can get a good look at all the framing. Got some more cleanup to do here. Getting this cover off was a pain in the butt. I think I'm actually gonna have to grind this entire thing out because my flooring's gonna be a little bit thicker, but that'll probably be in another video, the installation. One of the things I wanted to talk about was how I'm going to repair some of this, and I'm just walking on the, kind of figured out where the ribbing is to try to walk on that. But yeah, I pulled this piece up here, and my plan is to use this as a template for the new piece. So I'll pull that one up, and I'll take this one out as well. I'll make new pieces to drop in there, and then those will be good. And then I think I will also, I got some fire block spray foam I'm gonna use, and what I'll do is I'll block off this from the back side here, or the bottom side, and then fill it from the top with that spray foam. I'll also be painting all this, clean it up as best I can and paint it. Some kind of rust preventative. I'll figure something out. Got a lot of that kind of stuff going on here, but coming along, we're not far from being able to put new flooring down. And my plan for that, yeah, I know I told you I was gonna do that later, but my plan is to do 1/2-inch ply, then 1/2-inch insulation, then 1/2-inch ply on top of it. So I'm going to be a 1/2 inch taller than I was before, and my head is, I don't know, about here, so that's how much room I'm going to have. I'm about 6 foot-ish, 6'1" with shoes on probably. So that's what I'm going to do. All right, new development. I pulled that off, and what I found was, well, I got access to everything here, the back side of the engine, or the top side, and I noticed there's no insulation here. And it looks like there's a spot where the insulation used to go, and there's even a little bit left of it. So now we're going to figure out what I'm supposed to put here, because I definitely want to put some insulation in here. Crazy that there wasn't before. This definitely used to be the hot seat. I cracked myself up. All right, so I got my two pieces out here, and I gotta put these on, or I gotta make new pieces out of these, right? So this is what I'm thinking about doing. I found a good old 12 by 60, looks like 26 gauge. I'm not up on all my gauges of galvanized steel sheet, but I found this at the hardware store, and I think this is gonna work fine. I'll just trace that out and then cut it out, and there we go. And I got a second one of these, so that's what I think I'm gonna do to make my replacement plate. All right, got one in there. It wants to pop up a little bit, but hey, it looks a lot better, don't you think? I'm gonna go cut the other one for over here, but I'm not gonna. It seems like all of these are secured down from the plywood from the top. Like there's, well, whatever. There's nothing much holding these down. So, well, it's been a hot minute here. I'm not sure exactly where we ended up, but as you can see, I did get the entire floor out, and I've got a good start on putting the floor in. And that's probably something that I'll talk about in maybe the next video. But yeah, it's going okay so far. You can see we're making good use of batteries and other stuff. So yeah, I'll probably go into detail more on that one. But this is where we got so far. It's a pain in the butt, but we're getting there. So if you want to see how this one turns out, subscribe, Himmelberger Bus. Leave a comment if you want to see what we're doing, but I'm just kind of discovering it along with you. Again, I've only done one other bus conversion, and this is my first Prevost, so I'm learning a lot. And I'm trying to share the interesting things that I do learn.